Yo, Richard famous. Richard famous. Hey, Richard famous. Hey, Richard famous.
Paparazzi watching.
Yeah, I try to tell him. I try to tell you, nigga, shut. Everybody on there. Hey, yo, hold on, we gotta go to the trap. Come on, we gotta go to the trap. We gotta go to the trap.
We're going to the trap. I hope it's a literal trap. I need to know. I'm looking for some of that Shmurda crack, man.
Yo, stop it. Stop it.
We're gonna take you to the main block.
All right.
We're gonna take you to the trap where it all started.
Let's go.
We're gonna take you to Hey, my son G used to pick you up, take me out of 10 when I was 14, you heard?
All right.
John back then. I was selling 62 from every week. You heard? We're gonna take you to the spot.
We cooking up over here.
Yo, bro.
How y'all doing?
Regular Brooklyn vibes, actors.
How y'all doing?
Regular Brooklyn vibes, actors.
There you have it. Bobby Shmurda back in his old neighborhood, back in his old stomping grounds. He's walking around shirtless, some very good-looking white girl around his arm, and a bunch of his homeboys around him screaming a bunch of nonsense. He's back to that image that we saw him with when he first came out. He was with a lot of homeboys. You see him in some of these GIFs that I've posted. He was with a lot of dudes. He was moving. His dances back then were already kind of fruity, honestly. Like, people talk about his dances now being fruity, but now looking back through these old videos, I'm like, you know what? His dances back then were already kind of fruity. He just had that kind of energy. And it was interesting, especially compared to the Chicago drill that was popping at that time. It's interesting to see someone like a street presence dude standing amongst a bunch of other street presence dudes. And he's moving like that. He's dancing. He's presenting this different vibe from the Chicago shoot 'em up drill shit. You know? And I think that was a big selling point to the early Bobby Shmurda appeal, right? And then his music was pretty good as well, man. Those early songs were hits. Even Bobby Bitch and Computers with Rowdy, these were hits, man. These were hits. They've got tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of views on YouTube. That era, it was awesome, you know. And Bobby Shmurda, he has that charisma. He had that charisma in his interviews, but he has that energy. He's always coming with this positive, having fun energy, and that was a big selling point. Recently, though, Bobby Shmurda has had some bad news. You know, this this show promoter that was doing like a concert, a tour for Bobby Shmurda, said he couldn't sell on average more than 10 tickets a venue. And of course, that's not profitable for him, so he had to cancel it, right? Bobby is blaming them. He's saying, oh, you know, it's something to do with the promotion. They didn't do enough promotion for it. And honestly, I never heard of Bobby Shmurda going on tour. So I don't know if they did enough promotion, if they didn't, you know, what kind of people he was working with, what kind of promoters these people were. But, you know, it's bad news that he couldn't sell 10 tickets. However, I do find it unbelievable because I feel like almost there's a lot of towns Bobby could go to and probably sell more than tickets. I'm sure he could sell 20, you know. I'm sure he could sell at least 20. So I think Bobby Shmurda, just, you know, and then when he came out of prison, right, I'm sure you guys have all seen these videos. When he came out of prison, he was doing some funky-ass dance moves, man. It was some weird dance moves, and then he was saying that he learned those dance moves in prison, which means you're dancing like that amongst a bunch of other men. It was some, like, funky-ass dance moves. You might see something like that in Jamaica, but it's usually done on a girl, right? Like, grinding and shit like that. He's on the floor, humping the floor and whatnot. Like, you might see a Jamaican dude do that to a girl. You know, Bobby Shmurda is Jamaican. But he said he learned that in prison. So, a lot of that stuff caught people off guard, right? But it seems that Bobby, he's trying to build himself back up. He's trying to get his career going again. He kind of got a taste once he's out. He got a taste of what the people actually want. And just as you saw that video at the beginning of this clip, that clip at the beginning of this video, you know, he's with his homies, and yet he has that positive energy. And it's just cool to see a dude with such positive energy come up out of the streets and still have his homies around, still be able to go where he came from, and all the rest of that. And I think people want to see that. And I think people still support Bobby Shmurda. They still believe in him. And I think if he really goes out there and puts out a good song, man, and presents that positive energy, but, you know, in a way that interprets like modern music, tells his story, stays away from those funky dance moves, you know, although he can use them, but like as a part of his imagery, I think he still has a good career, you know. I think Bobby Shmurda still has the potential to have a good career. He definitely still has the potential to put out another hit record, to put out good music. He has relationships. A bunch of people showed him love when he came out. Rowdy Rebel still drops songs every once in a while that do millions. You know, his music is pretty good. And so he can definitely do a certain style of music. I know he wants to stay away from that shoot 'em up stuff, because that's what got him in prison in the first place. But you can still put out music and present your energy, this positive energy, be out there, be in front of people, produce content, you know, and do well, man. I think Bobby Shmurda can definitely do well. I think he still has a career ahead of him if he tries. And, you know, coming out of prison, he probably had to learn. He probably got a lot of love by just coming out of prison, and the whole story of him taking more time so that Rowdy Rebel would get less time and all of that. So he probably got a lot of love from that. He may have even got some quick early money. And now he's probably realizing that he needs to pick it up, you know, and take advantage of his name, take advantage of the fact that people will still check for his videos, that there's still a fan base out there that will check for him, you know. And that's the video I wanted to make. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys still think that Bobby Shmurda has a career? Do you guys think he's washed? Do you guys think, what do you think of this video, this clip that I showed early on? Is it embarrassing that you're out here walking through the same streets again, telling all these crazy, you know, he said, oh, this dude used to take me out of town to basically sell dope when I was 14 and all that stuff. Like, do people want to see that, or do they just want to see you make music, man, and just present yourself and just, you know, find a new, just bring back that persona, I guess, you know, without the violence and the gangbanging. I don't know. I don't know if it's possible. What do you guys think? I hope to see him do well, man. He's a cool dude. He's always got positive energy, and that's fun to see. Let me know what you guys think. Peace.